On the first evening of the new year, a family gathers around their dining room table in Beaverton to make a phone call. Soon, the face of a man in family photos around the room appears on a tiny screen.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dad.
When Paulino Martin San Pedro picks up the phone, he's in Mexico.
You have fun New Year's?
Yeah.
¿Qué hiciste?
Nada.
Was just in the house?
Just home.
Just home? Want to say hi?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good. Happy New Year. I hope you have a good time.
He isn't there with his family in person because in November, he was detained by ICE as he left work. He was one of 13 people detained in a single day in Washington County. Within days, he was deported.
Le dijimos el abogado que si quería papeles y para como firma.
The conversation turns to lawyers, paperwork to be signed, documents needed for his case.
We miss you a lot. I love you. Y pues te vemos soon, you know?
Yo también los extraño. ¿Qué quieres que haga? Pues vamos a salir adelante.
Paulino tells his son Eric that he misses them too, and that they'll get through this. Eric reassures him that everything will be okay.
Todo va a salir bien. Todo va a salir bien. We'll figure it out.
In another home, about 70 miles south in Albany, another family is in their kitchen doing meal prep together.
Like my dad's doing right now, he's putting the beans into a little container so we have some for the rest of the week. What I'm gonna do is add some rice into a bowl so that way I have like a lunch ready for tomorrow at school.
In this house too, family photos show the smiling face of someone who isn't here. Maria Trinidad Loya Medina.
We have a really efficient system. Like, it was tough in the beginning, but we've gotten like kind of used to it now. And we just work together.
They've been working together in a lot of ways since Christian's mom was taken. In January, ICE agents broke her window and detained her in a parking lot a few miles away from home.
This guy is good to help, but it's hard for him. Try to do everything and try to do the best in the school. We need my wife. Not only for the kitchen, like for mental support. Always she tried to feel better, Valeria, Christian, and me.
In every corner of their home, they feel her absence.
This kitchen ain't the same though without her. The house, the attitude.
She's important part in the house. I miss my wife.
From the Gert Boyle studio, I'm Jen Chavez, and this is The Evergreen, a podcast from OPB about the place you call home. For many years, home for Paulino Martin San Pedro and Maria Trinidad Loya Medina has been Oregon. But last fall and winter, they became two of more than 1,000 Oregonians swept up in what the Trump administration called Operation Black Rose. After the president called Portland war-ravaged and threatened to send in the National Guard, immigration detentions in Oregon skyrocketed and became more aggressive. Suburban communities were hit especially hard. In Washington County, arrests went up 2,100%. But today's story isn't about statistics. It's about people, moms, dads, spouses, role models, confidants, and their families. And when a piece of home is missing, what gets left behind? Part 1. Paulino.
My dad came over because he had a bunch of sisters and a bunch of nephews and nieces who didn't have a father around, and so he wanted to provide for them.
Paulino Martin San Pedro immigrated to the U.S. in the early 1990s from Hidalgo, Mexico. He and his wife had 3 children, all born and raised in Oregon.
They came here to chase the American dream.
Eric Martin San Juan lives a few hours away from his parents' home in Madras.
I was the firstborn of my family, and that was honestly something really cool for me, just to be a big brother, be an only child for 4 years, really just kind of learn with my dad along the way.
I would describe Eric as just like a very gentle person. He's just a very loving father figure and husband himself.
OPB journalists Troy Brennelson and Brooke Herbert got to know Eric while they were covering how the federal immigration operation in Oregon was affecting immigrants and their families.
Eric very clearly loved his father and was willing to share that with us.
My dad always took us to the beach, he took us fishing, he showed us how to just have fun with the minimal things we had. My dad worked construction for 30 years. He built so many homes here. My dad went everywhere. Whenever we go places, my dad would always, hey, I built that house. Like, I built the foundation for that.
He talked a lot about how much his dad was willing to give to this country.
My dad's biggest clientele are Americans. And he would either fix their patio, put up Christmas lights because they have no one else to help them put Christmas lights. Maybe their husband passed away. Maybe they have a bad back. He was a caregiver. He would take people to their appointments. My dad gave so much to this country, and for the way he was treated, it just doesn't make sense.
At the time when Eric came along, we knew that there was something very unique going on, and we wanted to make sure that we were talking to somebody at the front, and that something ended up being this crackdown, this Operation Black Rose, which was this massive federal sweep, federal agents going into Portland and its outlying areas to pick up people like these families were discussing.
My dad told me at a young age, that he wasn't here the right way. If there was an easier way to get citizenship, obviously we would have done it. We've talked to multiple lawyers. If we had like a fair shot and we had the funds available, I think we would have had a really good chance for my dad to get status here.
Court records would show Paulino only has a traffic ticket back 15 years or so. And nonetheless, in the fall of last year,
my mom and dad were at a job site fixing a window, and they head home, and they got pulled over by ICE. Told him to get out. They arrested him on the spot, put him in cuffs, and put him in the van. And my dad's final words weren't, I love you, tell my kids I love you. None of that. Hey, tell my son and tell my cousin to finish this job. My mom called us just sobbing, crying that my dad was taken by ICE. I cried like a child, dreading this day my whole life. I knew this could happen.
We've covered a lot of these, and I don't know if I've seen somebody quite get processed as quickly as Paulino was.
In a statement to OPB, ICE said Paulino had previously entered the country without legal permission multiple times and returned after being removed.
Near the beginning of the week, he gets detained in the Portland metropolitan area, very quickly sent up to the Northwest ICE Processing Center in Tacoma, Washington.
Trying to find my dad was probably the most difficult thing in my whole life. I feel like the way they set it up was to break you and to lose your patience.
Hey everyone, just wanted to fill you in on an update. We did see my dad. He was at the Tacoma facility and he's okay. He did tell me that they're trying to force him to sign paperwork to either have him deported to Mexico, to Arizona, and then to Mexico. And that no matter if he signs it or not, that he's going to be taken away tomorrow.
They're able to detain somebody and then get them out of their support system and out of the reach of attorneys who might be able to go visit them. And then you talk to family members who have experienced something like this, and they're like, yeah, I find my loved one through the ICE detainee locator and realize that they were in Arizona. So now we have to find an attorney in Arizona. And by the time we contact somebody in Arizona, now they're in Louisiana.
We found a lawyer who was willing to take our case. So then we drove to Pasco, another 4 hours away, to meet with them in the morning But by the time we woke up in the morning, my dad wasn't at that facility anymore. So we met with the lawyer. He told us he's probably going to be in Mexico by Friday, that he probably would be taken to Arizona and then deported to Nogales, which is what happened.
Paulino called Eric from Mexico.
Yo no hacía nada, simplemente manejaba y cuando fui, me agarraron sin ninguna explicación.
I wasn't doing anything, he said. I was just driving when suddenly they caught me without any explanation.
Ya estoy en mi país, estoy en Nogales, me tiraron aquí como un animal.
I'm back in my country. I'm in Nogales. They just dropped me here like an animal.
To have him ripped away, to have him transported to 3 different facilities, not knowing where your dad is, not knowing if he's alive, can't talk to him, don't know if he's ate, don't know if he's sleeping well. You put me through that. You put his daughter through that, his wife. For what? To make him an example? They don't care of the stuff he's done. So you know what? Like, all right, what did I do when he left? I created a protest.
Today we gather, not in silence, but in strength. We gather because families in our community, including my own, have been torn apart.
This is Eric speaking at a rally for his father in Beaverton, the day after Thanksgiving, 2025.
Truly, today is just not about my father, Paulino. It's about everyone who's being affected today by ICE. We will not be intimidated. We will not be erased. We are here and we're not going to go anywhere. Porque nosotros somos Beaverton. Y aquí todos tenemos un derecho de estar. Todos. Every single one of us. Thank you.
We are Beaverton, he said, and everyone here has the right to be here. Everyone.
I was born here. I can articulate myself. And I'm not afraid to show my face, but there's a lot of people who are scared and hiding. I'm trying to be the voice for the voiceless right now. I'm not just doing this for my dad.
With Paulino in Mexico, his family continued to work on his case, hoping to bring him back home.
It seemed possible for him to maybe fight his case over here, maybe get him out on a bond hearing or something. We had the paperwork finally finalized, and I needed to fly out to Mexico. And by the time I was ready to fly out, my dad was super sick.
His family says that it was very quickly after his return to Mexico that he began to develop the symptoms of a serious bacterial infection. His family does point to the conditions of his stay at these facilities and sort of this breakneck speed of deportation.
To be transported multiple times, not sleeping, being traumatized, it all kind of wraps together that it weakened his immune system so much that once he got something bigger, it hit him really, really hard.
ICE, what they said was that he was, quote unquote, medically cleared for deportation.
But in Mexico, his health continued getting worse.
My dad's name is Paulino Martin San Pedro, and he passed away on February 16th at 5 a.m. And it was the hardest day of my life. I lost Superman.
While his family was fighting to bring him back home, Paulino died of complications of E. coli and pneumonia. He was only 53 years old.
Señor Jesús, te queremos dar las gracias hoy, Señor, una vez más.
2 weeks after his death, loved ones gathered at a family home in Beaverton to grieve together and pray El Rosario por los Difuntos, a rosary for the dead.
Santa María, Madre de Dios, ruega por él y por nosotros pecadores.
The proudest thing of all this that I've been able to grieve with is that so many people saw my dad how I saw my dad. They saw him as this loving, generous man.
Behind any one of these closed doors in the Portland Metro, there could be, from the outside, just a normal evening, but inside, prayers, grief, and a portrait at the center near the fireplace
They want me to give up. I'm not doing any of that. What am I doing? I'm talking to people, sharing the story, to share that this is not just happening to me, it's happening to thousands of people across the country every single day.
A community vigil was held in a Beaverton park.
And I know today my dad is looking down on us, and he's smiling, and he's so proud. In the darkest days, I know he's with us.
But an especially meaningful thing for Eric Martin San Juan was being there for his father's funeral in Hidalgo, Mexico.
We were able to send him out in style. He went to 2 churches, he had 2 masses. The whole city came out to walk him to his grave. They carried him all the way there. I was able to wave the flag and lead the way. And I was able to comfort a lot of individuals, and I was able to say goodbye to my dad for one more time. And I think it's given me some peace to know I was able to do that for my father.
Coming up after a break, the story of another family caught up in the federal immigration operation in Oregon. Thank you for listening to The Evergreen, a podcast from OPB. If you appreciate this episode, subscribe to us on your favorite podcast app, and we'll bring you more stories about people and families who call the Pacific Northwest home every Monday morning. And remember, stories like this are made possible by many thousands of OPB members. Support our journalism by becoming an OPB sustaining member today at opb.org/pod. And now, back to the show. Part 2, Maria.
She's really polite and caring, and she tries to understand people's situations, and she's really respectful and smart too.
She's pretty responsible. She has her sense of humor too. She's probably the most mentally strong person in the family.
We have almost 20 years together. My wife is the best person, the best woman, the best mom.
This is Maria Trinidad Loya Medina's family, Valeria, Christian, and Serapio Herrera.
They just seemed like very humble and hardworking.
OPB journalists Holly Bartholomew and Stephanie Gordon visited their home in March as Holly was reporting on Maria's immigration case.
The kids get really good grades in school. They volunteer with their church. They are active in other activities like sports. And then Serapio, the dad, he worked in construction. And Maria, the mom, she worked 6 days a week as a house cleaner. And then on the 7th day of the week, she was taking care of her family and taking them to church.
We're just a normal family. We do the same thing everybody else does.
They, to me, exemplified what the American dream was supposed to be.
Maria immigrated to the United States from Mexico as a young woman in 2005. She married Serapio in 2008 in Utah. Within a few years, Christian was born in Denver, then Valeria in Chicago. The family moved to Oregon 7 years ago.
Yeah, I will admit, she's not a legal citizen in the country. She's been paying her taxes. She hasn't committed a crime. She's been dedicated to her children, her work.
The only reason she came to the U.S. was to make a new life and to get freedom, to buy a new house and make a family here. She has the best intentions. She's not a criminal.
Back in January, Maria went to the sporting goods store in Albany to pick up some soccer socks for her son, Christian.
I proposed the idea of going to the store myself to get these socks. So then my mom told me that she would be willing to go herself to help me out. I soon get a call 10 minutes later, and where she just briefly FaceTimes me, and she's just telling me that ICE was here.
She places her driver's license and her Know Your Rights card on the window, but she doesn't want to open the door because she doesn't understand what's happening quite fully. She hasn't processed it yet. But the officers just kept demanding that she get out of the car. So just as she was about to open the door, they broke out her window and they arrested her.
After the phone call, Christian and his aunt rushed to the Big Five where Maria had gone.
When we got there, we realized that we had gone there too late, and all that was left was like shattered window with no sign of the ICE agents or my mom.
Maria was quickly transported to the Immigrant Detention Center in Tacoma, Washington, the same one as Paulino. DHS said that she was previously deported and committed a felony by re-entering the country, but her attorneys and family said that isn't true.
She wasn't removed from the country, but she was turned away at the border, where she was trying to get into the country.
Then she voluntarily returned to Mexico. She was 17. At the time of her arrest in 2026, she'd lived in the U.S. for 20 years and had no criminal record.
You know, it was really, like, a really bad day.
It felt like a billion shots went to my heart because I love her so much and she never deserved that.
Ella no tiene que estar adentro, encerrada. Ella debería de estar aquí.
She doesn't have to be there inside, imprisoned, Serapio said. She should be here.
I'm feeling this family like it's broken.
In the weeks following her arrest, the three of them did their best to hold everything together. But it was especially hard as Serapio was recovering from a recent stroke and major surgery.
I gotta do double job. Try to keep everything like organize everything like before.
As a teenager, I shouldn't be juggling around like the responsibilities of a mom while at the same time juggling grades, sports, my future.
This 14-year-old and this 16-year-old are trying to take care of themselves and their dad. And then they're also trying to deal with their dad's medical bills and their mom's legal papers. It's hard to imagine two teenagers trying to take on all of that by themselves.
Missing their mom took a toll on their mental health.
My home is my safe space, but now I just feel like it's always lonely here without her. When I was sad or when I was mad, I could go to her and talk to her, but it's just different because she's gone.
Valeria was diagnosed with depression after her mom's arrest.
I saw letters from her teachers talking about how, like, she wasn't able to focus in class anymore. Sometimes she would just kind of burst into tears.
Christian's way of coping was pushing through no matter what. He also used to talk to his mom whenever he had a problem, and with her gone, he held a lot more inside.
I'm kind of like neglecting my mental health right now because I feel like I have a bigger responsibility to step up for my family. And I'm willing to do that, but obviously it's not something that a teenager my age should be worrying about.
In February, the kids went with their aunt to Tacoma to attend an immigration hearing for their mom. Despite the hearing being open to the public, OPB journalists were ordered to leave the courtroom by the judge.
We just waited outside the detention center for a few hours to talk with Maria's family. And yeah, we heard about what happened at her hearing from them.
Maria's lawyers argued that having to resettle with her kids in Mexico would cause the family extreme hardship, grounds that DHS could use to overrule her removal.
He did not see an extreme hardship with the kids moving to a country that they've never been to. He compared it to military families here in the United States military families do it all the time.
Melissa Loya is Maria's sister-in-law.
I wanted to stand up and be like, what are their rights? What are their rights as U.S. citizens? Why don't they have the right for their mom to be here? What's the pathway for their mom to be here?
The reason they decide to rule her out is because they feel like our situation isn't hard enough. And I feel like I don't help the situation either because by me still working hard and staying strong, I'm kind of adding to the opposing side in court that we're not in a hard situation, that we'll be fine if we're let alone. You really want me to give in? If I give in now, then we're gonna make things worse for our own family.
The judge denied the request to cancel the deportation order. But in May, after Maria had spent 4 months in detention, the family got some good news related to a different earlier hearing in immigration court.
She was released because a federal judge in Washington ruled that the immigration court in Tacoma had violated her due process rights at a bond hearing earlier this year. It only lasted 15 minutes, and the judge improperly concluded that she was a flight risk.
Maria is now back home as she and her family continue the lengthy process of fighting for her case through the Board of Immigration Appeals. In spite of how hard the situation has been on her daughter, Valeria, it's also inspired her to help other immigrant families.
When we were down in Albany interviewing them, she presented for us a presentation that she gave her whole class.
Every day I hear and see the injustice everyone is talking about, how innocent families are getting ripped apart. When ICE took the person that means the most to me, my mom, everything changed. This has had a big impact on me and my family in some of the worst ways, but it also made us stronger. It inspired me to be an immigration lawyer when I grow up. I believe in justice and equality, and I know that I can put all my emotion that I feel into working towards being an immigration lawyer and learning more about politics so that I can help other people in the same situation as me.
She said she was crying through the presentation, but at the end, all of her classmates were crying too.
I think they liked it, and I hope that they were able to understand my situation and about how I felt.
You can learn more about these families' stories by watching the latest episode of OPB's documentary series, The Crackdown. It is really, really good, y'all. It was made by Troy Brennelson, Holly Bartholomew, Brooke Herbert, Conrad Wilson, Michelle Wiley, and McGregor Campbell, and you can find a link to it in our show notes. Thank you for listening to The Evergreen, a podcast from OPB. I produced this episode, and our technical director is Stephen Cray. Layla Isbell engineered, mixed, and mastered the episode. The OPB podcast team also includes Mia Estrada, Julie Sabatier, and Sage Van Wang. Troy Brennelson, Holly Bartholomew, Brooke Herbert, and Stephanie Gordon did the interviews you heard. Music at the vigil for Paulino Martin San Pedro was performed by Mariachi Gallos de America. Other music in this episode comes from Audio Network. If you have a question for us, please reach out. Email us at theevergreen@opb.org. I'm Jen Chavez. Catch you later.